Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Intan Nurhanis binti Abdul Muttalib. My metric number 2018635144. Thank you for my supervisor, Encik Tengku Nasril bin Tengku Abaidah. My two panel, Dr. Siti Nurfazlina Yusof and Puan Irwana Noidayu Muhammad Hakimi. For my title for the research is the impact of Movement Control Order MCO among public at Serdang, Kedah. Next, I would like to discuss on the problem statement. The Movement Control Order MCO is a great challenge during a pandemic COVID-19. The government of Malaysia enforced a Movement Control Order MCO starting on 18 March 2020 to break a chain of COVID-19. The media start actively spread the hashtag stay at home to prevent more person will get a disease. All state and federal territories of Malaysia are declared as infected area by the order that several steps to limit the spread of the COVID-19 during the control period were outlined based on the Regulation 2020. For the first case that received by the Malaysian is the 19 individuals have died and 45 in ICU and 199 have fully recovered. There are 34% of hospital beds are in the use throughout Malaysia. I would like to discuss on the research question and research objective. First, for the research question is, what is the level of impact Movement Control Order MCO among public? Second, what is directive under the Movement Control Order MCO? Third, what is the relationship between the perception among public and the impact the Movement Control Order MCO? Four, what is the relationship between the regulatory of MCO policy among public due to the Movement Control Order MCO? The fifth, what is the most influential factor that impact among public during Movement Control Order MCO? Next, I would like to discuss on the research objective. First, to determine the employment and income that impact of Movement Control Order MCO among public at Serdang, Kedah. 2. To identify the relationship between the employment and income and the impact on lifestyle at Serdang, Kedah. 3. To examine the relationship between the employment and income and digital adoption in shopping at Serdang, Kedah. 4. To examine the relationship between the employment and income and action taken by the government at Serdang, Kedah. 5. To determine the most dominant factor that impact among public that have their movement and behaviour during the MCO at Serdang, Kedah. I would like to discuss on the level of study. The research focus among public at Serdang, Kedah. The respondent for the research are focusing to among public at Serdang, Kedah. It is because Serdang, Kedah located at the edge of the three states, which is Kedah, Perak and Pulau Pinang. First is place. The research was conducted at Serdang, Kedah. Time. The research will be conducted within the 2 semesters started from October 2020 until August 2021. Next, I would like to discuss on the significance of the purpose study. First, to give understanding toward the issue among public during the Movement Control Order MCO and their behaviour. Second, to contribute to the existing knowledge to the Movement Control Order and the behaviour of the pandemic COVID-19. Third, to increase the awareness and concerning to the Movement Control Order and behaviour of the pandemic COVID-19. To discuss on the terminology and concept. First is coronavirus. Coronavirus is a family of viruses that include SARS, Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, and MERS, Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, as well as other respiratory illness. A coronavirus, also known as a COV, is typically spread between animal and human as an event known as zoonotic transfer. COVID-19. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, the COVID-19 stands for novel coronavirus disease 2019, which refer to the year of the initial detection. The COVID-19 is the illness related to the current pandemic, which is the illness that causes by the virus SARS-CoV-2, Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus 2. Pandemic. According to the Center for Disease Control Prevention (CDC), refer to the worldwide spread of an infectious disease with a larger risk than epidemic until the COVID-19 is the last pandemic was the H1N1 influenza outbreak in 2009. Quarantine. For the quarantine is the refer to the separating and restricting the movement of the people exposed or potential exposed to the contagious disease. For the self-quarantine, the act of refraining from any contact with other individual for the period of time which is 2 weeks self-quarantine should be observed whether any symptom of the disease will arise after potential exposure. The individuals should stay at home and away from other people as much as possible. I would like to discuss on the independent variable and dependent variable for the conceptual framework. For independent variable is employment and income on impact of movement control order (MCO). For the dependent variable, first is socioeconomic, second is lifestyle, third is risk assessment. This is my example for questionnaire for the Among Public at Serdang Kedah. For part A, part B, part C, and part D and part E. I would like to discuss on the research design. In this chapter, the researcher use a quantitative method. The quantitative research generates statistics using a method of questionnaire or structure interview. It deals with easily quantified number and data. For the unit of analysis is the level of aggregation of data acquired during the subsequent data analysis that is referred to as the unit of analysis. The data from the primary entity in this study was collected. Next is sample size. The sample size will help the researcher to identify the number of respondents. According to the population at Serdang Kedah has 14,474 people, and the sample size for the study is 155 respondents. Then the researcher distribute the questionnaire about 155 respondents in Serdang Kedah. For the sampling technique that used for this research is the stratified sampling. The stratified sampling is where the population is split into the several groups. The overall sample consists of some members from every group. For the research one is using the descriptive analysis is the presented about the mean of employment and income that impact of movement control order (MCO) among public at Serdang Kedah. There is a high chance for the impact on the employment and income among public at Serdang Kedah during the movement control order (MCO). Second objective is to identify the relationship between the employment and income that impact on the lifestyle at Serdang Kedah. The lifestyle using a person correlation based on the result is show that is strong correlation between the employment and impact on the lifestyle. Here are the hypothesis alternative is accepted. The fact that the impact of the lifestyle will be affect the employment and income at Serdang Kedah during movement control order (MCO). For research objective 3 is for the table 4.7 show that relationship between the employment and income that impact the digital adaptation in shopping using the person correlation. There are strong correlation between the employment and digital adaptation in shopping. Therefore, the hypothesis alternative is accepted that the factor of digital adaptation in shopping will be affect the employment and income at Serdang Kedah during movement control order (MCO). For research objective 4 is table 4.8 show that the relationship between the employment and income, that action taken by the government using the person correlation based on the result, it shows that there is strong correlation between the employment and income and action taken by the government. Therefore, the hypothesis alternative is accepted. The factor of action taken by the government will be affect the employment and income at Serdang Kedah during the movement control order MCO. The lastly is for objective 5 is the ANOVA table show that the variable that more significant. Next, I will to discuss on the last chapter is chapter 5 that more in the previous chapter is chapter 4 based on the finding, and the researcher is identified to the study limitation and made recommendation for the further research. In a word is for the summarize of the movement, the impact of movement control order among public at Serdang Kedah. For the objective 1 is true. Two of the item is I agree with the movement control order MCO, and I was affected in the term of employment and sources of income as an indicate the highest mean value, which is 4.34 compared to the other item. For the second objective is the result of regression analysis that have been obtained in the table 4.6 show that there is a relationship between employment and income, and the impact on lifestyle is R 0.462 and p-value is 0.000, is less than for 0.05. For the objective 3 is the result of regression analysis that have been obtained in table 4.7 show that there is moderate relationship between the employment and digital adoption in shopping among public, which are 0.377, p-value is 0.000, less than 0.05. For the objective 4, the result of regression analysis that have been obtained in the table 4.8 show that there is moderate relationship between the employment and income and action taken by the government, which is R 0.293 and p-value is 0.000, less than 0.05. For the last impact, the last objective is the finding from the impact on lifestyle. Experts have strong effect toward impact among public as the impact on the most aggregable element that be chosen by the respondent among other factors. The findings support that impact on the lifestyle will be influenced among public at Serdang Kedah during the movement control order. For the research suggestion is in the future research it should be in for the wider geographical area as well as sample size of among public at Bandar Baharu Kedah. The study may lack any additional intriguing idea how to enhance the degree of loyalty inside the organisation. Rather than using a solely questionnaire, data may be collected using a variety of approaches such as the observation and direct questioning. For the as a conclusion is a total of 155 respondent data has been collected for this study. This study will be also exhibit 9 several variables that determine the factor that influence the impact of the movement control order MCO among public at Serdang Kedah. The recommendation are provided by the researcher for the future study, which is to widen the scope of study and using the qualitative method. There is a significant relationship between the impact of lifestyle, digital adoption in shopping and action that taken by the government on the impact of movement control or the MCO among public at Serdang Kedah. All objectives have been fulfilled. That's all for me. Thank you.